Hello and welcome. My name is Kyle FtW and welcome back to another map guide video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the map Moscow, which is, in my opinion, the best map in the game and is the most Treyarch-like map in the entire game. It is definitely the most three-lane map we have in the game and flows the best and is just overall, in my opinion, the best map, as I said, in the game. So, taking a look at the mini map here, as you can see, it looks a lot like a three-lane map because that's what it is. It looks, to me, the mini-map layout kind of reminds me quite a lot of a map from Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3. I can't really put my finger on what map it looks like exactly, but definitely is a three-lane map, and it is a very, very, very solid map in my opinion. Of course, I am on the CIA spawn on this map, and the specialized spawn is something that I will cover here in a second. But of course, there is the left lane, the right lane, and then of course the middle lane. And overall, this map flows really, really well and just works in this game. I really, really like this map. So starting off here with heading over to the left side over here, this is just an area that you can go through to kind of get to a nice little outlook on enemies that are coming from over there. I mean, you can prone here, get a nice head glitch. The A flag for domination is here. So if you want to defend that flag, or you want to anticipate enemies where they are coming from, then this is a very, very good place to take them out. You can also come down here, take a right turn, which will take you down this alleyway. Again, definitely recommend an AR here, or you can of course run through there as well, get into the middle of the map, and you can also go through that door there as well. But again, I'm not going to cover that quite yet. I'll cover that here in a second. But again, this building can kind of give you, or this little route here can get you an advantage on enemies that are over here. I mean, you can just kind of sit here and wait for enemies to walk by, or you can just, surprise an enemy. For example, if there's an enemy that you see, unless they, of course, see you first. But if you see an enemy run through here and you're right here, you can easily get behind them, shoot them in the back, and then come back into your area over here. So now, coming up these stairs, you want to be very, very careful for a lot of reasons. Number one, be very, very careful of enemies that are head glitching here. It happens all the time, so be very, very careful there. Also be aware of enemies head glitching on this brick wall here, or an enemy coming through that brick wall and surprising you, because that does happen quite a bit. And you want to be aware of that. Honestly, in my personal opinion, what you want to do is you want to throw your lethal. Maybe if you have stuns, throw your stun, and then quickly try and get into this room. The reason for this is now, especially if you have an SMG, you are now in a much safer area. However, if you have an AR, it's really hard to take out an enemy on this heavy glitch. Like, it is extremely difficult. Number one, have recoil reducing attachments. That will really, really help. Number two, I mean, it's just so difficult to fight somebody that is on that head glitch. I mean, hope you're lucky and run through here. Although I don't recommend that, because in this game, you can't really rely on being lucky. So maybe what you could do is, if you have the specific wild card, maybe you could throw another grenade over there. Or if you nail that enemy with that grenade, then you can push up on them and get a kill, because they're going to have to fall back because they're weak. But again, be careful of stim. So in all honesty, the best thing I recommend doing, as I said, throw your lethal and tactical and then run through here. Doesn't matter if you have an AR, doesn't matter if you have an SMG, just try and get into this room as fast as you can. However, if you have an AR, you use your secondary, didn't do anything, just run away. Don't try and fight enemies on those head glitches. You just are not going to do well unless, of course, as I said, unless you have a recoil compensating attachment. Same thing with that head glitch over there. Try and throw your grenade over there, but in all honesty, you're probably going to be safer from this head glitch over here if you try and run through here than if you were to just kind of sit back, because there's no way for you to get cover. I mean, I guess you could head glitch on here. Yeah, there you go. You can head glitch on here. I'm not sure how much of your body is showing here, to be honest with you, but this is probably your best bet to win that gunfight, because now it's head glitch versus head glitch instead of full body versus at the top of someone's head. So that is another potential option as well. Now here, this is a route that can take you directly into the middle of the map here, where pretty much, I would say, 85% of the action happens. Staying to the outside edges of the map, you're of course going to get less action, but it is much safer. So be very careful about enemies on that head glitch there, without kind of being sneaky over here, and enemies sitting over there in that corner. Again, if you're down there, which I'll show you here in a little bit, be careful about enemies up here who are head glitching as well. And again, just be aware of your surroundings, because you can easily get shot from both angles here, and and it's bad news. But if you're up here, definitely use this little escalator as your cover, because that will just help you a ton. If you just kind of run down here, you may get caught off guard. There could be an enemy sitting in this corner, and now you're in a very, very dangerous area. Now again, continuing on with this side of the map here, again, this is that same little area that I was talking about earlier, where enemies can kind of just head glitch here if they want to. So you actually can't head glitch here, but you can definitely head up here, and boom, now you have your head glitch. And again, that's perfect actually. If you're down there, you can easily take out an enemy that is head glitching up here. And again, you could also use this as cover if you want to as well. I've never seen anybody do this, but I mean, you obviously can if you want to. Now this is exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about enemies that are sitting here, and I've also seen enemies that are sitting here again. But if that's the case, then you can just easily run into this building and then get a flank maneuver on them. Pretty simple. And again, I'm running from the CIA spawn. I can also run through here and then get a flank on the enemies that are there. I can also run through here, get another flank on enemies over here, or have a gunfight right there. So this is a very good area as well. Again, vice versa, I've seen people head glitch here on this bush. I've seen people head glitch here as well. And I've seen people head glitch, or not really head glitch here, but I've also seen people stand up here as well. So again, just like with every single map, I mean, some things never change when it comes to Call of Duty. Always be prepared for enemies to be anywhere at any time. Again, I'm just trying to show you guys the points where enemies love to hang out, and, you know, to make you aware of it. So, of course, you can also run back here. If you get into a very sketchy situation, you can just run through here. Or, again, as I said, you can also run through here. But, again, always try and keep your sights up here for at least half a second, just so that you are prepared for any enemies that might be in this little building here or coming through this building from over there. So, again, just always try and anticipate where the enemies are. Again, this room is not too useful, but it will get you over here into this area of the map, which is another prominent spawn. This is, of course, getting closer to the Spetsnaz spawn, so be very careful of that. But again, this can take you through this route as well. Now, I never really worry about enemies head glitching on here because I just have never really seen it. Most of the time when I play this map, I just run right through here and get into this area. But again, you could also do the other way. Come through here, get over here, be kind of sneaky, and boom, you are there into another gunfight where you have an advantage. But again, this building here is just kind of a route to get from you know, to that building, or to get into the Spetsnaz spawn. I think it's the Spetsnaz team. Yeah, it is Spetsnaz. I knew it. So again, be careful over here as well. Enemies love to hang out here. Again, this is a spawn point, so always be careful coming over here. If you aren't anticipating enemies to spawn over here, you're going to be putting yourself at a severe disadvantage, and you never want to be at a disadvantage in Call of Duty. Be careful of enemies head glitching on here. Be careful of enemies head glitching on these stairs, which I'll show you guys in a second. And be careful about enemies up in that window as well, because enemies do hang out there, especially in free-for-all. TDM, domination, kill confirmed. You may find somebody up here, but I would kind of ignore them unless they are up there, because, you know, they're just going to camp in the back, and you really can't do anything from this point. So, again, if you see an enemy up there, you know you're not going to win that gunfight, just retreat. No one is going to call you a loser for retreating. Obviously, sometimes I do it in my live commentaries. I say, come on, fight me, but again, I'm never going to bash anybody for running away if they don't feel confident in that gunfight, because, again, a death sucks. You don't want to die, especially in this game when it takes a ton to get kill streaks. So, again, you can come down these stairs as well. This is what I was trying to show you earlier. Enemies can head glitch you from here, and it's very hard to kill them. They can also come up here, another head glitch, and you can even go up here if you want to. You can get on top of this little building here. But again, honestly, this could be useful for taking out enemies that you know are on the B flag down there, or you know that there are some enemies in here. But for the most part, I really wouldn't recommend being up here, because you can get shot from down there, you can get shot from up there, and then you can get seen pretty far away from any enemies that are down there. But again, all these camping spots or these little areas, you can obviously, this isn't a head glitch because of course most of your body is showing. But again, if you want to use this area to kind of get maybe a kill or two, then you can of course do that and then run away. Again, I never recommend staying in a camping spot for more than 1 or 2 kills because of the fact that enemies will pick up on it, specifically good players. I always pick up on your camping spot, so be careful about that. I'm just saying that from my perspective. Of course, it just kind of depends on your lobby. But for me, I will always pick up on your camping spot, so you better move or I will find you and I will take you out. So again, get 1 or 2 kills and then run back over here. But again, if you're going to be up here and you're going to be hanging out up here, be aware of enemies coming from up here, because of course you have an advantage on enemies down there because they're shooting at you from the high ground. But enemies up here have no disadvantage on you, and you want to be very careful because of course you can get shot in the back as well. Now this building back here, Again, not really that useful. Of course, you can come all the way back here if you want to. This enemy goes back, or this map goes back quite far. When it comes to calling in a kill streak, this is by far the best place to call in a kill streak, by over here by the statue. Wow, look at that thumbnail image. Whew, beautiful. Anyways, this is probably the best area to call in a kill streak. I've seen enemies shooting down air support from over here. Again, though, don't spend much time over here. I mean, free-for-all, I've seen people over here, but for the most part, in any mode at all, just don't hang out over here. You're not gonna get any gunfights. It's gonna be pretty boring. So honestly, I would draw the line on exploring this map from this little barrier here over. That's what I recommend doing it. Again, go back there to call in a kill streak. Recommend that highly, but for the most part, really wouldn't spend too much time over here as well. Now, if we go into this building, as I mentioned earlier, you can go up these stairs and you can get a nice outlook on enemies that are over here, enemies that are there and over here as well, and then of course enemies that are down there in this little building if they are there, over there, and then finally over there. But again, unless you're playing free-for-all, I don't recommend spending any time in this building. You're just not going to get much action, and your game is overall going to be pretty dang boring, and, you know, just don't recommend spending much time there. Now again, we are now at the Dji spawn. This is where, or the Spetsnaz spawn, this is where the Spetsnaz pretty much always spawns. So, of course, boom, this is where the spawn is. So again, if you're over there and you're on the CIA side, be careful about enemies that are spawning here because, of course, you know, while spawn trapping is sometimes a good idea, most of the time it's not. So just be aware of that as well. Now, if you head over here to the left side of the map, this is sort of, yeah, this is another part of the left side of the map as well. The C flag is here, or I guess this is technically the right if we're coming from the CIA side. Either way, it doesn't matter. This is where the A flag is. You can also come over here, take out some enemies there. Again, be aware of that head glitch there, and then be aware of enemies that are up here as well. I have seen enemies up here. And then finally, and be aware that this whole area, this whole rectangular area, is where the C flag is. So even if you dip a pinky toe into here, it will say enemies are securing B. So you're running a big risk here. You're honestly running a big risk here. I kind of wish that the domination points were smaller than they are in this game, but they're not. So if that does happen and you know that you're sort of getting close to the enemy spawn, run through here. And the reason for that, simply enough, is that for the most part, what I've seen when I've played this map, enemies will either come through that door or they will come through that door. So by running this way, if you are captured that objective, they may actually run through here. Boom, you can take them out, or you can anticipate that they're going to be right here, and then you can take them out as well. Again, be careful about this head glitch here. Forgot to mention that, but be aware of that. If coming from both sides, again, I'll cover the middle here in a second. We'll kind of flow right into the middle of the map as we go through this area of the map as well. Again, this is another pretty good area of the map. You'll see a lot of enemies run down these stairs and stuff because this is a direct route to the middle of the map and a pretty quick route to the middle of the map. But again, be careful about enemies over there. Be careful about enemies back there. Be careful about enemies head glitching on that corner there, and then of course back there where you can't really see, but there are enemies that are back there. Again, this is sort of the most competitive area to take out enemies that are over there, but for the most part, when you're over here, try and make it quick. But again, actually no, scratch that, take it slow over here, because as I said, a lot of enemies tend to go through this way, then over on the other side of the map to get into the middle. So if you're here, try and take it a little slow, you know, make sure that you're you know, paying attention to the head glitches, anticipate where enemies are. But if you do come down here and you get stuck and you find an enemy that's there on that head glitch, or you see an enemy that just comes there, crouch here and then try and get an advantage through a head glitch, or just sprint to the middle of the map. But again, now this is really risky because you can easily get yourself shot in the back or shot in the side or whatever it might be. So again, if you do get down here and an enemy just happens to show up, try and crouch here, try and get on a head glitch, and then make the gunfight very competitive. That's why this is here. They didn't put this here just to put it here. It's definitely going to be very, very useful and help you out a ton. Now over here, this road area, this is an interesting part of the map. I never really see too many enemies running through here, specifically over on this side of the street running this way, because you are putting yourself at a severe disadvantage unless you have a sniper rifle. This is the only area of the map where I recommend having a sniper rifle at all times. Even with an AR, you are putting yourself at a severe disadvantage. Number one, that little concrete half wall over there, that little concrete area right there where I'm shooting right now, enemies love the head glitch on there. But even with my AR, I might barely see them, and I am at a severe disadvantage because I don't have a head glitch or any way to cover myself. Of course, I can do this, but again, I'm still showing like 90% of my body. So again, I never recommend coming on this side of the road. Of course, as I said, unless you have a sniper rifle. Again, with my sniper rifle, I can take out enemies that are in the bus. Enemies can go in that bus, so be very, very careful of that as well. And of course, anticipate and, just, again, sniper rifles is key here. But if you have an AR, run through here, and then prepare to take out enemies here. This is perfect AR range, but again, they're on a head glitch, so you're going to be putting yourself at a severe disadvantage. So if you get caught here, don't even bother. Come through here and hop into this building, and now you are pretty much safe from all enemies. Now again, I'm going to touch over this area a little quicker. Now again, if you're running through here and you know that there's no enemies here, be aware that enemies can come through here. This is a little area that you can kind of go through, and you can of course go through here, get kind of a flank, and then you can come back up. You can also come back up as well and be on this head glitch, which is why I pointed it out earlier. Once again, you can come through here. You can actually get into this bus, as I mentioned previously. Again, I wouldn't recommend spending too much time in here. You're not going to get very much action. This is sort of equivalent to that other building on the other side of the map where I didn't recommend spending much time in, because you're just not going to get much action. You may get, maybe a handful of enemies coming through here, but for the most part, I would recommend not spending much time in the bus. But you can also come back here. You can also come back all the way to here. Again, free-for-all is where you might find some action here, but you can come back here, and then this is where I recommend calling in a kill streak from this spawn right here. Boom. Works perfectly for that as well. Now, of course, back here, as I mentioned earlier, not really much happens here. Wouldn't recommend spending much time in here. This is a spawn point, so you're going to be pretty much focusing all of your attention forward, to the left, or to the right. And again, you can also come through this building, maybe take an enemy off guard if you are in their spawn, but for the most part, you'll never really find enemies over here too often, unless you're, of course, playing free-for-all. Now we can talk about the middle of the map very, very briefly. This is where it kind of gets crazy. Honestly, it gets really crazy in here in this area of the map because there is a lot of places you can get shot from. So, of course, be careful about enemies head glitching here. Be careful about enemies head glitching here, as well as, obviously, here. And back here as well. This, as I said, this is the craziest part of the map. This is the middle of the map where almost 85% of the action happens. So you're going to have to tread carefully here. This building also has a ton of action in it. You can go through here to get to this area, which is the opposite of there. And you can also go through here to get to this area as well, and to also climb up here. So just keep that in mind, that there will be a lot of enemies in here. So again, what I recommend doing is keeping your sights up, and if you're going to go into this area of the map, you're planning on going into this area of the map here, always go through this door. I don't recommend running through here like this, as if I were to do this, run through here, boom. I don't recommend doing that, because your odds of getting to this point here and coming into here and not dying are much lower than if you were just to run straight from your spawn point back there through here like so. So again, if you're going to come into this building, I recommend coming through this door, not coming through the side there. But again, if you are coming through the side, be aware of enemies that are there, because enemies do like to hang out here, kind of play defensive over here, because of course it's a good spot to be in. It's a very popular side of the map. You can also camp behind the bar if you want. Again, if you were to play free-for-all, this is where I recommend hanging out, because you are going to be at a very, very good advantage on enemies, because there are multiple free-for-all spawn points over there. So if you are playing free-for-all, then hanging out here is probably my best recommendation, because you'll probably do really, really well. Again, just like what I mentioned previously, this is a dangerous area if you're down here. Again, on top of there, that escalator there, and then that escalator there. You are at a big disadvantage. So crouch here, head glitch on this, and then it's head glitch versus head glitch, not head glitch versus full body or half body. And again, be careful about enemies up here. Enemies that are, as I said, up there on that little yellow building, and then enemies coming through here. The amount of times I've been killed aiming here is just a ton. And again, be careful about people coming in through the middle of the map over here. I mean, there's just so many things to keep track of over here at this part of the map that I never recommend spending more than just a little bit of time here, because you're going to be at a very high disadvantage. No, it doesn't matter where you are, especially if you don't have a silenced weapon. If you have an unsilenced weapon, sorry, dangerous, very, very, very dangerous area. This is sort of a come in, don't come out sort of area. Of course, the B domination flag covers this entire room. Again, coming through here is risky, but it can pay off because you're going to get a lot of action, but it also can hurt you quite a bit. If you constantly are running through here, you're going to constantly be getting killed, and you're going to constantly be getting frustrated. As I said, with most of my map guide videos, I never recommend spending any time in the middle of the map. It's just a risky game to play. I mean, maybe you can come in here, get a quick kill, and then run over here. But again, by the time you do that, you might be killed or shot in the back. And it's just not a good idea. But of course, if you're going to be playing the objective, you're going to have to be over here. But again, try your best to play this as best you can. Again, I showed you guys that head glitch facing up towards the escalators, but you can also head glitch down here, although it's going to be a big challenge to see because of the flowers. But you can here, you can kind of come back here, take out those enemies. Again, be careful that enemies sitting in every single corner of this room, because enemies love to do that, and just anticipate there as well. And again, you can also head glitch on here to take out enemies that are up there and enemies that are here as well. But again, keep your sights up through here, because you never know if enemies are going to be running through here. And then of course you can go up these stairs as well, and boom, they're on this side of the map. Again, head glitch here, take out enemies that are coming from all angles. Again, you're at a big disadvantage here as well though, because enemies can be coming from there. They can also head glitch on that, and then on that, and that. So this is, again, this is a 2 kills, runaway type of situation. Of course, you can always run down here like this if you want to, but again, I would just like with what I talked about over there, wouldn't recommend it, because you're going to be putting yourself at a severe disadvantage. But anyways, that is going to do it for the Moscow map guide. There is lots and lots of stuff to talk about, because I mean, there's just a lot of places you can get shot from. But again, this map, in my opinion, flows the best out of any single map in this entire game, and is my personal favorite 6v6 map in the game. I really like this map. I think it's just a great map overall, and definitely plays most like a Treyarch map. I don't know why they kind of switch up their map design this year, because these maps work really well. I know there's people out there who don't like the 3-lane system maps, but then again, that does, I mean, I can see that happening. But again, hopefully this was able to help you out with this map. If it did, you know, a like rating is always appreciated. If you want to check out any of my other previous map guide videos, I will leave them linked down below within the playlist in the description. We have covered Satellite and Moscow, or in Miami, sorry, so far. And then of course this map, and I will try and get the other maps in the game here as soon as I possibly can. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, a like rating is always appreciated. If you want to check out any of my other previous map guide videos, I'll leave them linked down below. And if you want to check out any of my other mod or Black Ops Cold War videos, I will leave another one of those linked as well. I'll see you guys all on another Black Ops Cold War video very soon.